Hey everybody, welcome again to another episode of Just for Fun Reviews. I'm your host, Azzy, and with me as always is my boy Roy, and today we're going to be talking about episode 2 of The Last of Us, Infected. Uh, Hopefully you watched our first episode breakdown and review. If you haven't, go watch it. If you haven't watched the show yet, go away. Come back when you've seen it, because we're going to be talking non-spoilers at the front, and then some spoilers at the back. To top this up, what did you think about this episode?
A little bit low. I mean,
How about do you believe it was better or worse than the first episode?
it's not saying it's a bad episode. Not a bad episode. I mean, played the game. A couple things changed in this that might have worked for the better. Like, because I'm not trying to get too much into spoiler territory, but overall, I thought it was a okay episode. I mean, like I said, it was kind of a slow build up to where they were going with. I knew how this episode was going to end, and only thing I didn't predict was the beginning of this episode, which was interesting to see how that played out.
Now, what you got going with us? Roy is more of an expert when it comes to the game. He invested a lot more time into the series than I did, sadly. I am a coward. So you have the two different perspectives. You have the guy who's mostly looking at how it compares to the game, and me feeling that tightness in my chest this entire fucking episode because the tension was real.
Yeah, I'm about to say
all the way through.
But not trying to spoil anything. When they got to the little museum area, and they was like,
"Yeah,
be quiet, quiet." Like when Pedro Pascal said that, I was like, "It's getting real."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You knew what was coming. So this is definitely the big episode where we are finally focusing primarily on the cast that we believe is going to be carrying the franchise. We got Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, and Anna Torv. I need to look at those names real quick. Torv playing as Tess. This was really a big episode for her, where she got to show this range of emotions as a person who seemed very much intellectually wise with Joel, apart from wanting to see the mission through. Like she was more optimistic about going forward with it because there wasn't really anything left for them back where they came from. Joel just wanted to be done with it.
I mean, which is pretty accurate from the game. He was like, "Yo, we're done." Like he didn't want to do this anyway. I mean, it's like little story beats changed here and there for the show, but overall, his tone about.
But they do a really good job. But they do a really good job at showing that Joel is the pragmatist in the situation. Like, I believe I'm using that term correctly. I don't. He doesn't have any hope. He doesn't have any hope whatsoever in the situation. Like, he can't allow himself to hope that what's going on with Ellie is true or that it's real. Tess, believe it or not, like from the jump, as soon as they like got to question her a little bit more, as soon as she got to see it firsthand, and I love how they kind of reinforce it later in the episode just to make it that much more obvious that there is something here, there is something worth investing in. And Tess is the one that jumps at it immediately. Like that hardened survival mentality kind of melts away a bit, and you see her really trying to push forward and connect more with Ellie as a person rather than treating her as cargo from that point on. But you know what the thing is though, and I was still on the fence about one of the bigger changes between the games and the show. I just didn't really understand why they did it. I was okay with it, but I just didn't really understand. After this episode, I'm sold. I'm okay with it now.
But you talking about the spores?
Yes, the spores and the tendrils. They like if you're watching the show and you're not watching it all the way to the end where they do the inside the episode and they finally get to actually express it. It makes sense now why they didn't go with spores. The idea is essentially like spores work for the game because in the game it kind of actually like breaks reality by assuming that the spores stay localized when actually they would just go all over the place, which would make it muddier in a show that's trying to embrace the totality of realism that they can go with. What did you think about the opening? Like that cold open that they seem to be doing for every
Yeah,
episode where they dip into the past and show us how that shit starts.
yeah. Starting off in Indonesia, you know, like I'm
Yeah.
like, this is
I had
nothing.
a
This
dumbass
is
moment. I'm just like,
this is
is this
nothing.
Indiana?
This is nothing to do with the game, but clearly this is like the start of the outbreak. The scientists looking at the
Ugh.
cordyceps and stuff, and then you have the body. Suppose not. I'm not. I'm not saying that's subject zero or anything like that, but of somebody who got bit and got infected, and they go in the mouth and they find those tendrils. Yeah, and then she was like the army guy's like, "What vaccine? What medicine can you make for this?" She laid it out. It's like there is no medicine. There is no vaccine. Like the only thing that you can do is bomb. That's all she said. Bomb.
Yes. What the fuck? I mean, oh, and then like that actress, like kudos to her, like the tremors that she was having, and she's like, could someone please drive me home? I want to be with my family right now. It's like she knows, like she gave her best advice, and knowing that just, oh man. Do you think that they're going to do a cold open like this for the rest of the season,
I mean,
or do you think that they're going to uh step away from that?
if you kind of watch at the end of this episode, you get the sneak peek of the next couple things. So I expect we're
Oh
gonna.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I expect we're probably gonna have some opening with Bill and Frank
Mm-hmm.
with that
Mm-hmm.
how they met because Frank you don't see Frank at all in the actual game. So this is gonna be something totally new when you watch this. But like from what I've heard, that everybody talks about, you hit episode 3, that's when they get you, like they hook you in. So
Hey,
I'm
it's Nick
excited to see.
Offerman. It's Nick Offerman. I don't give a fuck. It's gonna be
No,
amazing. He's
motherfucker,
gonna
it's
teach us
Ron
how to build a
Swanson.
chair
It's
and
Ron.
then kill a bunch of buses. He's gonna...
What was his
um.
little saxophone guy's name? I forget what it was called.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
I can't remember.
Nope. I can't remember. I can't remember. That's gonna bother me. But so I really want to rush into the spoilers. So let's go ahead and give our rating for this episode. I would still put this episode at like a 9. It maintains the tension. Uh, I feel like the only thing that came away with this, I just wanted it to be longer.
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing because I could tell near the end, like as soon as that the museum scene was over with, it felt kind of rushed because even though it's beat for beat what happened into the game except for what outcome happened to S.
Yeah,
But overall,
yeah.
I'll give it a 9 as well.
All right. Well, if you haven't seen the show yet, by all means, please go and watch it. Come on back and see what we gotta say that spoils all the little bits. And that is your nonchalant spoiler warning. Uh, yeah, they did the clickers right. They did the clickers right.
I can't do a clicker noise that good.
But for a hot second, I was like, oh man, they're gonna turn these like zombies into like World War Z or something. But it does make more sense. That is how fungus can operate. Like a massive think like plants in Avatar. They're like it's a
they try to make it like a hive mind kind of deal. That's what it's
sort of.
saying.
Yeah, and its efficacy is dependent on whether or not the fungus is dried out or not. So basically, it uses up all the nutrients in a particular location, and once it's exhausted its resources, then it dies. Because like that was the thing. I was really like sitting there wondering, because they just explained the concept to Ellie that if you step on a tendril, and I got like immediate like Stranger Things flashbacks. You step on a tendril, it'll know. And then Joel's like, I like this one. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? They lied to her?
But yeah, it's interesting to see Bella Ramsey, Ellie, still being like the goofy kid messing around in the hotel, at the receptionist desk and everything, goofing off, and then
I couldn't remember where or when Tess got bit. And I had to be reminded that it wasn't a horde of zombies that were coming, obviously, because the zombies didn't function that way in the game. It was the military that came for them.
No, I thought you were talking about when she got infected. I was like, she was on her own when she got infected. But yeah, her death was with the military guys showing up and shooting her. But as this one played out, she's making her last stand against infected, which I did not like that runner guy walking up on her and going, that was nasty.
Yeah, no kiss. We didn't need no like zombie version of like the Italian kiss of death. No, thank you. That was unnecessary.
I was like, that's gross. I mean, at first I was like, if she don't get this goddamn light off, like it'd be worth wasted. But she was it better than the game?
But it definitely needed to maintain the tension. Like she couldn't be defiant in that moment because she was petrified. She was terrified. Having her like do like a 90s action thing where like the music heightens and it's like going back from her eyes to the zombies like burn bitch, and then she lights in. No, that would have fucked up the tension, and like they had to maintain that. They just didn't need to do her like that. That like did her dirty.
I would just like to see her have a instead of the infected coming in after her military guys. I felt like that could have been a nice little last stand kind of deal. Not trying to be like Scarface or anything, like,
I mean, no, I mean we still kind of got that last stand. It was just subbing out the military for the infected in order to maintain the elements that they had implemented for this. But yeah, from this point, I don't really remember a lot from the game. Like I remember the next big thing, and then
we're not gonna go that far in. It's like, yeah, because I knew this episode was gonna be, which was interesting. The way after the whole Indonesia scene, they went to basically daylight in the game. They were still messing around in the buildings at nighttime, where I thought maybe they would have still did that, but it was all in daytime. But yeah, they navigated through the buildings, went through the museum. Tess I think they got separated in the museum, and that's how Tess got infected, and she hid it till she was supposed to meet up with.
What was the part that you had mentioned? You had mentioned that at a certain point you felt like it was rushed. And that's funny because I don't remember if we brought it up with the last time, but apparently people were upset with how quickly the episode ended with Ellie, it being revealed that Ellie's infected and whatnot. Because that was a longer scene in the game, and like they had to end it at some point. Like they couldn't have kept going.
So you gotta understand with that how the first episode ended, fighting against the military guy, and then it was like Joel, she's infected and everything, and that's I expected that to be the last thing of that episode.
You always want to end your episode on a punch like that.
Just like with this episode with Tess being infected and her going out with a bang, literally. And next thing you know, if you wanted to buy the game, they're supposed to go down in the subway and stuff like that, and then go meet Bill, which I'm more curious on how this is gonna play out.
Yeah. Um.
Huh.
Oh. I wonder if that because remember in the preview for the next episode, Nick Offerman's character is on the ground. He's telling the other dude called Joel. I wonder if that connects back to the radio signal that we got in the first episode. Remember, like the code,
Yeah.
the one song meant danger.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that might have been like something with his brother or something like that. That he just happened to miss the radio call. I don't think that has to do with Bill or Frank or anything. What I think I might predict is all those previews we see at the end with that one little infected in the floor, and he's just looking.
Yeah, the one that Ellie
I feel like that might be Frank.
Okay. All right. We'll see if you're right. And I think that's a good place to leave it. We're going to leave it on your prediction. If you stuck with us up until this point, thank you so much for watching. If you watched the episode, drop a comment down below and let us know how you liked it. Hit the like button, do the doobly-doo, and we will see you for the next episode next Sunday or Monday when the video comes out.
Monday.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Deuces.